Well, hello. I thought you might enjoy seeing a mock-up of the book cover due to be released in November. Probably the first and last time you will ever see Satire wearing this adorable little hat. Oh, well, maybe for such a diva. And then we're hoping that we'll be able to get into Westerns. Isn't this cute? All right, what do you think? Willing? Nah, okay. Sorry, honey. Okay, no hat for that. All right, well, the publishers are moving a lot faster than I am. They say that they already have enough written material for me, and it's actually getting to be time to scrap some of it. Okay, and understandably, the first things to get axed are those from sources other than Pearl and myself, however accurately credited. All right. Well, some of it we just liked so much. Particularly, there was this one passage. Benny Achuleta is the author of this, according to some sources. Other sources say anonymous. But it was very touching, and it was about the Rainbow Bridge. Now, for those of you who may not know, the Rainbow Bridge is where the animals that we have loved, when they finally pass away, they go to the Rainbow Bridge to wait for us. And it's kind of like a bucolic antechamber to heaven. And they are restored to their best selves. And there they romp, they frolic, and they wait for us to join them. And when we make our transitions, all of the animals that we have loved and lost are immediately aware of our arrival, and they come racing to meet us. And oh, the wags and the scratches and the squeals and the nuzzles and the licks. I mean, it's just going to be a giant pile-up of joy. At least that's what I'm expecting. All right, so this particular piece is a spin-off on that idea. Now, when we are all reunited, that's when everybody gets a chance to cross the Rainbow Bridge together into the Promised Land. All right, well, this spin-off is called Rescue at Rainbow Bridge. And I was so touched by it that despite Pearl's vociferous objections, I submitted it to be part of the book. And, well, this and who knows how many other selections are untimely ripped from their mother's book. But at least, honey, don't eat your hat, at least I can share it with you. All right, so we had a little accident here earlier, which means that all of the pages are wet. And I just ask you to bear with me. All right, why don't you have a little yummy while I'm doing this? You want to? Okay, don't have your back to everybody. There we go. All right. It begins with Pearl's objection. She says, for the record, I, Pearl de Wisdom, Alpha Beta Ziploc, rail against everything, including such emotionally manipulative schmaltz. We are better than this. At least I am. But Georgette, well, Pearl, bless her little heart, is an uber sentimentalist, and this makes her cry every time. And since the book is ostensibly co-authored, yada, 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 just know that I have allowed the following under duress and am personally impervious to the hideous tugging of the heartstrings. And at that point, she just dissolved into tears. Pearl's not always what she appears to be. All right, so here we are. Everybody good? No? Okay. Unlike most days at Rainbow Bridge, this day dawned cold and gray, damp as a swamp and dismal as could be imagined. All the recent arrivals were confused and concerned. They had no idea what to think, for they had never experienced a day like this before. But the animals, who had spent some time waiting for their beloved people, knew exactly what was happening and began to gather at the pathway leading to the bridge to watch. They knew this was something special. It wasn't too long before an elderly animal came into view, head hung heavy and low with tail dragging along the ground. The other animals on the pathway, the ones who had been at the Rainbow Bridge for a while, knew the story of this sad creature immediately. They had seen it all too many times. Although it was obvious, the animal's heart was leaden and she was totally overcome with emotional pain and hurt. There was no sign of injury or illness. Unlike the pets waiting at the bridge, this dog had not been restored to her prime. She was full of neither health nor vigor. She approached slowly and painfully, watching all the pets who were by now watching her. She knew she was out of place here. This was no resting place for her. She felt instinctively that the sooner she could cross over, the happier she would be. But alas, as she came closer to the bridge, her way was barred by the appearance of an angel, who spoke softly to the old dog and apologized sorrowfully, telling her that she would not be able to pass. Only those animals who were with their special people could pass over the Rainbow Bridge, and she had no special beloved people, not here at the bridge, nor on earth either. With no place else to turn, the poor elderly dog looked toward the fields before the bridge. There, in a separate area nearby, she spotted a group of other sad-eyed animals like herself, elderly and infirm. Unlike the pets waiting for their special people, these animals weren't playing, but simply lying on the green grass, forlorn and miserable. Staring out at the pathway leading to the bridge, the recent arrival knew she had no choice but to join them. And so she took her place among them, just watching the pathway and waiting. One of the newest arrivals at the bridge, who was waiting for his special person, he could not understand what he'd just witnessed and asked one of the pets, who had been there for some time, to explain it to him. That poor dog was a rescue sent to the pound when her owner grew tired of her. The way you see her now, with graying fur and sad, cloudy eyes, was exactly the way she was when she was put into the kennels. She never ever made it out, and passed on only with the love and comfort that the kennel workers could give her as she left her miserable, unloved existence on earth for good. Because she had no family or special person to give her love, she has nobody to escort her across the bridge. Oops. Okay. Got a grip? The first animal thought about this for a minute and then asked, "So what will happen now?" As he was about to receive an answer, the clouds suddenly parted and the all-invasive gloom lifted. Coming toward the bridge could be seen a single figure, a person who on earth had seemed quite ordinary, a person who, just like the elderly dog, had just left earth forever. This figure turned toward a group of the sad animals and extended an outstretched palm. The sweetest sounds they had ever heard echoed gently above them, and all were bathed in a pure golden light. Instantly, each was young and healthy again, just as they had been in the prime of their life. From within the gathering of pets waiting for their special people, a group of animals emerged and moved toward the pathway. As they came close to the passing figure, each bowed low, and each received a tender pat on the head or a scratch behind the ears. Their eyes grew even brighter as the figure murmured each name. Then the newly restored pets fell into line behind the figure and quietly followed this person to the bridge, where they all crossed together. The recent arrival who had been watching was amazed. What happened? That was a rescuer, came the answer. That person spent a lifetime trying to help animals of all kinds. The ones you saw bowing in respect were those who found new homes because of such unselfish work. They will cross when their families arrive. Those you saw restored were ones who never found homes. When a rescuer arrives, they are permitted to perform one final act of rescue. They are allowed to escort those poor animals they couldn't place on earth across the Rainbow Bridge. You see, all animals are special to them, just as they are special to all animals. Well, not only am I looking forward to reuniting with all of the domestic animals I have loved and lost, I will finally find out what happened to those wild creatures that I cared for and then returned to Mother Nature in the ultimate leap of faith. What a glorious day that will be. Until next time. Bye. Bye-bye. Well, yes. And then we'll all go across the Rainbow Bridge together. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. And I wish you a joyous reunion with all of the animals that you have loved. Until next time.